Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and tonight we're going to do a champion guide on the one, the only Uugo. She's a pretty lady, she's a interesting lady, okay no. She's really ugly, she's really gross, but she is really interesting, I will give you that. So she's an Ogre Tribes Magic Affinity Champion, epic support with the Ogre Tribes. We've already said that, duh. I don't go, no, I'm going nuts. So, you know, she's got a pretty cool looking skin. She's not amazing, she's not one of my favourites, but she does look interesting. We'll give her that. And, you know, everybody's done a guide on this girl. Everybody's done one. She's such an amazing champion. She's useful so many places. She is an epic support. Only, she's a legendary support, really. So, why should you watch my video over others? Because it's got me, of course, and I'm just amazing. And if you don't like watching me, well, tough, go watch somebody else. No, seriously, I hope you enjoy watching the video. And I just want to do my take on her and say what I think of her and where I use her. And that's kind of it in a nutshell, really. So, we've got her A1, looking at her skills first. Black hand. Hands don't really look all that black, but okay, we'll go with that. Black hand for the A1, attacks one enemy and has a 35% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. This chance increases by 5% for each enemy alive. So you're talking your normal runs, 4 to 5 enemies. That gives her an extra 20 to 25% on top of that. So it's a reasonable chance on an A1, and leech is absolutely amazing as a debuff. You know, leech on enemies can just keep your entire team up. It really can. It's just one of my favourite abilities, I have to say. To have a solid chance to place it on an A1 is just amazing. So really good A1, really solid, really like that. She's doing this weird heavy breathing thing. Some of these champions do this. I'm wondering about the people at Plarium. They've got this thing about heavy breathers. I tell you what, I did actually find a champ the other day, and he did some seriously dodgy heavy breathing. If you watched my recent summon video, dwarf guy, really creepy. And I know I've seen something very similar somewhere, but for the love of me, I could not find it anywhere. So I couldn't put like a little meme in on it or anything. So I could just not find it. But I know I've seen something really similar somewhere, but I just can't remember where. So the A2 Maelstrom Rack attacks all enemies and has a 100% chance when booked, 75 unbooked, of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 50% chance of placing a block buffs debuff. Sorry, I always get tongue tied with that. For 2 turns, the chance of placing the block buffs debuff increases by 5% for each alive enemy again. So you've only got 50 initially, but again that can be 20 to 25% higher depending on where you are. I mean, if you're against somebody like Spider where there's even more enemies, allies there, it goes up, but it's not really somewhere I use her personally. And in most cases, arena, dungeons, the like, at a time you're going to be facing 3 to 5. It's kind of the normal thing. But it is a very, very solid ability. So one ability, on a 3-turn cooldown when booked, 4-turn when not, you are getting decreased defense, which again is one of the best debuffs in the game for increasing your damage, and block buffs as well on an AoE. So that's the entire team on block buffs, and they can't take any buffs. That is huge, absolutely huge. I cannot overstate just how big an ability that really is. Next up we have Uugo's Brew. Her A3 removes all heal reduction debuffs from all allies. It's kind of a meta ability, that part, to be honest. Then we've got, then removes 1 random debuff from all allies. I mean, it's from your allies, but, you know, how often do you get heal reduction anyway? But, I mean, it's handy. It removes all heal reductions. Then it removes 1 random debuff from all allies on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, 6-turn without. That's not amazing. but then it also heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP. So you build her out for some decent HP and she can give you a fairly decent heal. You can also book the heal up by a further 20%, so that's a 40% heal off of her HP. If all allies are dead, it revives them with 50% HP and then fills their turn meters by 50% instead. It's huge. It's a great ability. It's not the best of revives out there, I will say that straight off, because it does require all allies to be dead and her the last person standing for you to use that element of it. Either way, it's still a really good ability on a really good kit. Then we have her passive Final Spite. Places a 30% increased speed buff and a block damage buff on this champion for one turn whenever this champion's the last living ally is killed. The idea being, obviously, she's the last one. This just gave her block damage, so she's not taking any damage. It's almost impossible to kill her. Not impossible, we know. Some champions can ignore block damage, remove it, yada yada. Yada yada yada. Yeah, we like the yada yada yada.
Yada yada yada. Just some bad egg salad. I'll be right back.
But it basically places a chance for her to last longer, and then gives it increased speed, so she's going faster to get round to that turn, so that she can then pick everybody up. It is very good synergy. It's really cool, I have to say. So how have I geared this champion? Well, because you're building of HP for the heal, if nothing else, and because you want her being the last person standing, you want her surviving, I've gone for building them with masses of HP, and then I've gone for the utility of a shield set, so that she also provides that extra shield to your team, which I just think is worth doing, you know. It's not the only way to build her, there's many ways to build her, but I think that's a solid one. 68k, but 69k HP, it's not the highest out there, I know. I've got other champions in shield sets, or without, with high HP, but it's what I could do for the moment. And again, I know not everything is fully rolled up, but that's just the way it is, I'm afraid. The attack I'm not worried about too much, but she's got 1.3. Defense, I've tried to build up some defense to make her a little bit more tanky, obviously, and she has a decent base defense at 1.2. I've put some on, but not a lot, so she's at 1.9. Speed, we've got her up to 208, which is a good solid speed. I mean, would I like her faster? Yes, but hey, it's a decent speed. Crit rate, crit damage, I've not worried about at all. Debuff resistance, I did not build it onto her, but it's not a bad one to go for. Debuff accuracy, now obviously she is placing elite, she is placing block buffs, she is placing decreased defense. This girl places lots of solid debuffs, so you want her accuracy to be really solid. So on the off chance I'm going to use her in Hard Doom Tower, I've actually built her up to 322. I'd like that a bit higher, to be honest, but 322 is what we've managed. As we say, we've gone for a shield set, so we've got a fair decent amount there. I could have HP up a little bit higher by rolling this stuff up. I have some silver at the moment, but I don't want to waste it. I want to use it during events in the middle of a fusion. So I'm being smart, I'm saving it, and this is the way she is for the time being, and she's still a really solid champion. And then I've gone for a perception set, so she gets a little speed and loads of accuracy out of it. That is really solid. Accuracy on the banner, HP on the neck, and HP on the ring, because I'm building her to be survival with a lot of HP, so those heals are good. So next up we have the Masteries, and at least I don't need to move myself for this one. So we've gone down the defense tree and the support tree. Defense tree, we've gone down for mitigate, 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 mitigate damage from one specific enemy. Then we've got has a chance to increase the turn meter. Obviously you want to go in fast, you want that turn meter coming up, so when your team are taking crits, she gets faster. Then if she does lose a chunk of health, it's less likely, but I went for it anyway. She's got a chance to counter attack and use that leech more often, which, like I said, it's really solid. On this side of things, we've gone for some accuracy, we've gone for chance of increasing turn meter when a debuff she places falls off, which obviously she places a bunch of debuffs, so it made sense to increase her turn meter. And then we've gone for basically health, healing, down into a chance to reset skills. We've gone for Spirit Haste here, increases speed by 8 for each dead ally. Obviously if she's the last one standing, that just again helps her go faster and getting her back round to that revive. Timely intervention for the rank 6 ability increases this champion's turn meter again by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25%. Again, all of this is predicated on bigging up her healing, keeping her alive, and keeping her going faster, so that when she is the last one going, she's got a chance to get round to that heal. And that's the way we've done it. Obviously with any masteries, build it for the way you want, for the way, read all the masteries, learn all the masteries. It is seriously important. Don't cookie cut and copy and paste and all the rest of it. You can get an idea. Obviously what I'm saying makes sense, but it also depends on the team you're using around them, where you're going to use them, the gear you're putting them in. There are so many variables with masteries that it's never a good idea to just copy. So we covered the skills, we covered the masteries, we covered the artifacts. Let's cover where she's useful. So where is she useful? Well, everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. This girl is a beast of all traits. Faction Wars, absolutely amazing. Obviously she's an amazing champion for Faction Wars. In fact, she's one of the reasons that I actually managed to finish Ogre in Tribes and complete that maxed out. Dungeons, she's useful for. I must admit, I don't tend to use her, but where can you use her? Well, anywhere really. Absolutely anywhere. But we'll show her off in the dragon. Okay, so we've come back in. We've picked a team that's a bit more defensive. Obviously, at stage 24, they actually hit quite hard. So we've got a decreased defense off of Uugo and the decrease and the block buffs, which is great. Obviously, we already had that last time. We've also got an extra reviver in Scylla the Drakes to sort of help Uugo out since hers is on a long cooldown. Plus, she has to be the last one standing. So it's nice to have somebody just pick up the odd person that drops. I know it's a fairly legendary and sick legendary heavy team at this point, although to be fair, Scylla the Drakes is free and Iron Brago was a fusion, so both were fairly accessible. Uugo, of course, is an epic, so the only two real kind of sick champions here are Xavier, and you can really kind of use any poisoner in her place. She just happens to be a bit better at it to get it done a bit faster. Could have easily brought Fane in, she would have done a good job here. Frozen Banshee even. Now what we'll do at this stage is we're going to cut to the end of the fight because we do not want to drag this out. I do not want this being too long a video. So here we are at the boss, and I will say so far we have had zero trouble, because between the shield at the start of each round, Uugo's decreased defense and block buffs, the enemy's not doing much. Then on top of which we've got Syl coming in and stunning everybody. We're just not taking the damage, plus then Uugo's putting out that leech occasionally, which just helps keep everybody topped up. So health has not been an issue on this run at all. Now 3 minutes, I mean, it's not the fastest run ever. I don't do speed runs. I don't try to do speed runs. I'm not built for speed runs, but the point is it's reliable, it's solid, and this would work for you every time without fail, I could imagine. I've not trialed it. I've not done 100 odd runs just to see if it is 100%, but I'd imagine it very much is. How little trouble we've had here, how little... We've never even remotely come close to dying, not one person, let alone the whole team. And quite frankly, between Uugo's heal / revive and Syl's revive, it's just not even a worry even if people do drop. But people haven't even dropped on this run. There you go, that's the lowest I've seen anybody's health in this at all. And Uugo comes out with a big heal and just heals everybody up. Alright, means there's no revive now, but, you know, auto, that's fine. Obviously, we do have a revive in Sil if it's needed. But it ain't going to be needed, you know. I mean, look at this. We've now got decreased defense. The block buffs is neither here nor there. I mean, it helps, but it's not amazing on bosses like this. But the leech and the decreased defense together are huge, absolutely massive. And there you go. My best time on this stage, not that I tend to run this stage very often, 4 minutes 47. It's not a speed run, but it's not slow either. And if you're running this overnight, it's going to be reliable and just keep ticking along for you quite happily. So let's take a look at her in the arena. I mean, where else is she good for? Faction Wars. Faction Wars, definitely, like we said. She helped me finish Faction Wars, do stage 21, hands down, no problem. Dungeons, as you just saw, she's great for dungeons. That also means she's great for Doom Tower. Doom Tower, if you build her right, she's solid, she's good solid support. She'll help you get through waves, she'll help you get through bosses, and she just provides so much solid support. And that's what she is. She's a support champion. She picks people up, she heals people, she puts out amazing debuffs. What more can you ask for? And then the other place a lot of people use her is the arena, and she's great here too. Right, I'm not quite sure where to put her really, because yeah, we'll put her in as our decreased defense actually. Nobody's weak here, so that works out. We'll take out Brackus because he's not my favourite DPS champion. If you saw my last video, I actually did a video on him. He's a good solid champ, but he needs books. I don't have books, so that's not ideal. Let's put in, you know what, let's try Sissia Flametongue, great champion. We'll put her in for our DPS. Don't use her enough as it is. So we get a lockout on 3 out of the 4. Boost everybody's speed. Uugo comes in, decreased defense. Bam, decreased defense and block buffs on everybody. Alright, so we're going to go for a big A3 ability. And she just nukes the entire team. That is the power of Uugo. She comes in, decreased defense, absolutely everywhere. If you were in a little bit of trouble, she's still going to provide really solid support. Again, like I say, because she is Magic Affinity, she works against Magic Affinity champions, which a lot of people use in Arena. So that works out really well. She's at least neutral. We'll try the same thing again. You know, we get 3 lockouts again. We also happen to be a bit faster. Come in with our decreased defense. Okay, we had a little bit of trouble there, but nothing too major. Then we come in with our Nuka, and again, everybody's down. You know, we can just show you more and more of the same. It's kind of the same. At the end of the day, in Arena, that is her main role. She's putting out block buffs, which is huge. She's also putting out the decreased defense, again, huge. But as a side note to that, if you're using Arbiter already, you've got a backup reviver. You've got somebody who can also do a really solid big heal if needed. So she's just super support in this situation. All in all, I'm not going to bellabore it anymore. She is probably hands down one of the best. And I'm saying this, I'm not one of these other content creators. I don't want to diss the other content creators. They're all great chaps. They all do great content. Absolutely love these guys. But some of them do tend to clickbait a little bit and say that this is the best champ ever. This is the best champ in the world. And quite frankly, they're not always. But in this case, she really is one of the best support champs in the game. She just brings so much to the table. The only thing that would make her slightly better would be if she was void, so that there was no chance of a weak hit or weak anything. then she becomes amazing. But I mean, she already is amazing. You know, you're using her against the right Affinities. You know, I'm saying this, but I'm going to have to go check at this point. I'm going to drag you guys along for the look. I know I was in the wind down, whatever you want to call it. We were finishing up the video. Let's take a look at that ability again. Does it place? No, yeah, it is an attack. So I was right on that part. She attacks people, so she's great against magic, she's great against spirit, she's going to be fine against void, but she is going to have an issue against force champions, and you need to bear that in mind. If she was void, whew, damn, she'd be broken, to be honest. But even as a magic champion, she is still one of the best support champions in the game. And I said it, she's one of the best. Decreased defense, block buffs, a great heal, a revive, and leech on the A1. I mean, I don't think I can really say quite that much about any other champion that I can think of that's a support champion. She may not literally be the best in the game, but she's certainly one of the best in the game, and that includes legendaries. She's just so versatile, so useful. If you've got this girl and you're sleeping on it, which I was for a little while, I have to admit, I was like, well, everybody keeps going on about her, but I kind of don't want to follow the trend and be a lemming. And I slept on her a little bit. I had other champions I was concentrating on, and when I finally got around to her, I was like, whoa, bastard! Alright, she's not void, so I can't use her against force, and you have to bear that in mind. But any other time when there's no force champions involved, she's sick, really sick, just absolutely mental.
Now I have a cute little squirrely really do pet and love and church and squeeze!
No joke, you know, and no, not that kind of mental, you know, we're talking a different kind of mental here, we're talking mental good, not mental crazy. So anyway, I hope I didn't offend anybody with that term, but you know, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. She is an amazing champion, well worth your time, well worth investing, and definitely worth your books. Without books, she is not as good. Just like any champion in this game, quite frankly, for the most part. She's definitely one of those well worth your books, and because she's an epic, she's a little bit easier to book. Not a lot, but a little bit easier to book. I'm IceMan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and more people should watch it. If you like my content, ding that bell, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified next time I release a video, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.